Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are right. Just like that, we are flipping the markets just like that. Crazy earnings season. Earnings seasons are nuts. We got Adam in the house. Good morning to you. We got Bill, Brian. We got Cindy, Corey, Jay. Good morning to Matthew, Miguel, Micus. Good morning to Paul. We got Tim, Win, all my peeps out in YouTube land. I got one screen today, so we're going to flip back and forth. We got Richard Jet in the house. Good morning to you. Santilla, good morning. We got Honey Roy. Good morning to you as well. All my lurkers in the background. That's okay. I still love you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah. Pretty good earnings. Pretty good earnings. The Bulls were ready to buy yesterday, which was kind of crazy. I think we navigated that pretty well, but SPY right now opening up in a really interesting place. Pretty bullish. Lots of room up to the next level, which is still that 5, 10, 26 we talked about. And then I think we could probably, I don't know about today, but kind of see how the rally wants to move to. But we got 513.91 in sights as well. And after that, we're discussing all-time highs again. We're gonna have the I got the 20-day EMA right in front of us as well. SPY acting like you're ready. Yeah. Let's do this pre-market move. Pre-market, we're still kind of sitting decent. We did have PCE coming out today. That was about that was pretty much flat in line with expectations. Obviously, we got that good pop after hours, but we're still kind of running decent. Yeah, we sold off all the PCE gains. We're still above the VPOC though, so that's decent. It will be a little bit of an interesting area. We got the 10 right above us, or the 20 EMA right above us. That's going to act as a little bit of resistance. Otherwise, we're above a beautiful looking pivot. We probably get the pressure in from the 20 EMA. I would expect after this major gap. This is technically the retest gap from yesterday. So I think we probably end up fading. I would assume it's a really good gap though. But I think we look for support probably down at 506.04. I don't think we do a full on retest of yesterday's gap. If we do, well, first of all, we got to get through that 506.04, and then we got to get through 505.21. So those are my two levels of support. We obviously got targets a lot higher than here, so still a decent amount of room to the upside. But that 20 EMA is acting a little suspicious in there. I see you, 20 EMA. We'll see what happens on that. Qs. Oh, Qs we got. Same little gap up. We got the same moving averages, except two of them. I got the 50 and the 20 above us. There's still some room up higher on this one before we even get into that. And then we have the VPOCs up here. So again, a little bit of a retest. I would like to see us pull back 426.94, use that as support, and then pick up to start going. So see if obviously we got another little bit of a retest gap. So there's definitely some people profitable. And depending on what stocks you own, good morning, Matthew. Depending on what stocks you own, you are really profitable in some of them. Really, unless you're like INTC and then you're like, what rally? What market rally? But besides that one, yeah, we got 431.18. That's gonna be targets. Maybe we come down, test this 426.82 first, somewhere in that zone. And really good gap though. Really strong move up higher. So I would be leaning more bullish than bearish still. But a retest, I think, would make some sense at open. Let's see if the bond people are buying anything so far. Are they finally convinced yet? They are starting to show up to the party. A little bit of gap up there too, so that should help IWM as well. But interesting location there. So we are above the last. We're above or at, depends on when this thing opens. But I got my last little VPOC, little support resistance, 88.27. And then we do have one slightly higher, 88.40. That's probably going to be a little bit stronger of a resistance. So we'll see what happens on that one. But at least we do have a nice little gap up. Kind of, if we didn't come down there, if there was no wick down there, we'd have a little bit of a potential 1-day island reversal type thing on TLT. But otherwise, yeah. Let me know if you guys have stickers that you guys want to take a look at. Let's start with Google. Let's start with Microsoft. Kevin wants to take a look at ARM. We'll take a look at that one as well. I was looking at ARM pre-market. Yeah, I kind of like that one too. Google. Yeah, I gotta expand out this this chart. Google with what was it, a $70 billion buyback program they released, and then they are offering now for the first time ever 20 cents a share in terms of dividends. Earnings were pretty phenomenal as always, and I think they started talking about a little bit of AI in there too. But earnings beat per share by 37 cents, almost 38 cents. So it's 25% higher earnings per share expected. They also came in with a 1.793 billion. That's with a B, so they beat that by 2.28%. So absolutely phenomenal. And again, then they have the news of a $70 billion buyback program, which is a mixed bag, honestly. I don't know how I feel about it. I like it. Obviously, they're buying back shares, and that's going to help push valuations higher. But I hate when companies buy stocks at all-time highs. So uh, that's not my favorite spot where they do it. That's almost as much as Jeremy's new house. Oh, close. Yeah, no, he's got Jeremy's house. You got one extra billion in there, I think, somewhere. Uh-huh. Yeah, but yeah, so mixed bag. Obviously, anytime a company buys back shares is phenomenal. $70 billion. That's a good chunk of cash that they're buying it with. Google gapping to all-time highs on the news, on the earnings, on the divvies. Man, they're just trying to get everybody excited. I've got 0 spots on this one for targets. I have no idea how much further this one could go. I do expect that there's probably going to be maybe a little profit taking, since every single person ever who owns it is profitable. I own it. I'm not really interested in selling. So I mean, pay me my divvies. That's cool. Buy those shares back. I'm good with that too. But I'm not gonna play. I'm probably gonna most likely stay away. I really don't want to play this one bearish. I really don't feel like I'm missing anything by not going bullish on it. If anything, I think we got probably a little bit more risk reward to the downside. See if we can play this fade. And we are looking for SPY and Qs to give us a little bit of a fade too. So maybe Google could help in that direction. But otherwise, phenomenal gap and just 0 targets up there until we kind of at least start shopping sideways or do something fun up there. We'll have to see. But Microsoft, they also had earnings that came out. They beat humbly by 12 cents, so 4.25% higher than expected from earnings per share. So nice little beat there. They didn't get to the B section. No, unfortunately, they were 4 million short. Better luck next time, Microsoft. Better luck next time. But they beat by a surprise beat of 996 million. They were also, I mean, realistically, they came in 61 billion. So pretty decent earnings in Microsoft land as well. Beautiful looking gap up here too, breaking that pivot, which is fantastic. But we're opening higher than that 20-day. I was gonna say, just like the SPY and Qs, we got the 20-day to fight through. We're above it. So that's fantastic. This is a retest gap for sure, but also breaking a nice little pivot too. So I would actually be a little bit more bullish, just probably not the first one at open. We do have some resistance right above us, 414.07, and then you got probably about 415.93. So a little bit of resistance we got to get through. If we can get through that, or you think, hey, this thing is going to break through it, then I got the real resistance coming around 420, which would be a fantastic day for Microsoft if we could get up there, specifically because we closed at 399. So that would be a $21 move higher when it's all said and done. I think we do get to the 420 zone. I think safely and comfortably at some point we get to 428, and we are probably going to be talking all-time highs on Microsoft. But I think we get that pullback first. So we'll see if we can get that pullback. Look for support somewhere around 408.87. We do have some room to the downside and a little bit of resistance above us. So again, lots of people profitable on Microsoft. Maybe did not sell at the previous all-time highs, and this is a good chance for them to kind of at least rebalance their portfolio. But I don't think people are heading to the exit doors from Microsoft. I don't think there's too much worry in Microsoft land first, but so I would be bullish on it. Just not out of the gate. I would let the market kind of calm down again. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't like yesterday. I don't remember, like, everybody was all bearish. That was such a long time ago. It's tough. It's tough. But yeah, no, the market was, we had like a 5 minute recession. Yes, it was crazy. Oh, it was nuts. Now everyone's all bullish, all happy. Pins. They have their earnings tonight. Oh, no, never mind. They got their earnings coming out on Tuesday. So why the excitement in pins? Probably, yeah, maybe off of the Snapchat. Maybe a sympathy off Snapchat. Let's see. Other social media stocks like Pins is up 4.3, Meta platform. Yeah, a really good quarter for Snapchat. So I think there's now probably we called the Snapchat yesterday. I don't know if anybody played that one, but that was the low-hanging fruit out there. And now we got to talk about the pins. We got to talk about pins because Microsoft was setting the Snapchat already kind of had a low bar. And that was what was appealing about the Snapchat play yesterday. They had a low bar already. Then Meta comes in, they messed up everybody's earnings, messed up everybody's day. That's where the recession kicked in because nobody uses Facebook anymore, I guess. I don't know. But it was not so much in earnings of Meta. Meta was relatively at all-time highs, just under all-time highs. So they had the high bar to beat, and it was more or less the spending on Meta brought the whole stock down, but otherwise good earnings. So social media platforms are still doing good. It's not like we stopped doing that. But Snapchat already kind of had that low bar coming into earnings. And then they also Meta yesterday lowered the bar again for them. So pretty decent setup at least on Snapchat, and they did beat on earnings. So surprise beat by 6 cents. They were expected a loss, so pretty good quarter for them. They usually come out and just murder themselves after they have good earnings. They usually come out and they'll be like, "Hey, we beat," but then outlook not so good. They didn't even do that this time. And then they come up with some crazy excuse as to why they're like, did the Baltimore Bridge collapse, so therefore supply issue is all messed up. And yeah, no. So I don't know. Next quarter, not looking so good. Not looking so good. But they didn't even do that this time. They get a $74 million beat. Surprise beat to the higher side. They did come in with 1.19 billion. So social media platforms still doing good. This is a nice little looking gap up. Probably a little bit more room. I think we have a decent short float on this one too. But this would take us to 1467. So not much more room to the higher side before the first resistance, and probably looking for like 1529. But I think there will be at some point a dip that will be very interesting to buy again on Snapchat. I think we have to kind of fade back down a little bit. If it wants to run bullish, let it do its thing. But really good consolidation. And then so we bring up Snap just because now we got Pins earnings, which is the exact now opposite of, unfortunately, what the gift that Meta gave to Snapchat was. Where now everyone's kind of like, maybe maybe some of these website thingies, these little, I don't think, I don't know. I don't get pin interest. I don't get pins. I don't understand why people need to see how other people bake cupcakes. I'm not sure, but regardless, I think the bar is a little bit higher now for pins, so probably not going to be the same 25% reaction off of it. Still could have good earnings, but we have to watch out for that. Otherwise, really good gap. There's probably a little bit more people excited to want to try to get in before earnings, which would be fun, but big little that's like a double thing. But big resistance right here. So we got 33.90, and then we got one more spot, probably 34. We are going to have some of these EMAs start kind of creeping in. This is a major retest gap, so I think probably Probably your risk reward today is to the bear side. And I think an interesting spot if you do want to try to play it prior to earnings, you're looking for maybe trying to come in somewhat back at like 32.88 if it gives you that opportunity. So we will see on that one. Let's take a look at ARM. And then if you guys have any other tickers, let me know. And we'll pull those up as well. ARM has some decent room. Again, I still don't want to be the first one to buy. This is technically still a retest gap from yesterday. But if we could get back down into this 98.86 zone, that would be an interesting spot to buy. Surprisingly, this little breakdown candle, we did have some volume, not overwhelming. And then you are going to have some of the moving averages that we're going to have to deal with today as well. So we've already had one rejection off of it. Otherwise, really good location. If we could get above that EMA, target on this one would be about 105. So that gives us at current price about $5 and whatever, 40 cents to the higher side. But if we could get a little bit lower, now we got about $7 to the higher side. I like that a little bit better. Stops, we could even probably go with 95, 40, something below yesterday's candle, which would be attractive. That gets us good risk reward. So would like to see this one fade a little bit too. But we're going to get this one higher on the list for sure. We'll get that up there nice and high. Beautiful. NVIDIA. NVDA. Let's see. We got NVIDIA with a little bit of a gap up. This one's come down a tad. I think this one's higher pre-market or after hours. Let's see. Yeah, so we hit the high of, I think, roughly 848.06. We are below current VPOC. Again, this one probably very interesting day that they put in yesterday. We were watching this one closely. I almost wanted to short somewhere around 822. Glad I stayed away. Some of my spidey senses were tingling. Like, it's still NVIDIA. It's still NVIDIA. Otherwise, good gap. Really good resistance up at 846. So that will give us, we'll call it 847 just to make the math easier. So that will give us about $10 to the higher side, $9 now to the high side. And then all of this support comes down to 826.22. This is also a retest gap, and we are still in this candle. So I know the market's bullish. I know the market's bullish, but I want to just be cautious. I want to be cautious on the bull side of things. Let things chop. Just try to remember yesterday. Just try to remember the thought process we were in yesterday. See if that kind of creeps back on in. Otherwise, I think there will be a buy opportunity. I would love to see that come down to like 826.34 first. But I was really watching this 822 zone for some resistance. It did reject it a few times until eventually it said, no, we'll go higher. So NVIDIA, most likely, I think NVIDIA probably hits the $1,000 price target at some point. I don't think that's out of the question. They will have earnings, so we might need earnings to come in first. They're also probably going to give themselves a nice high bar, but at least we're not at all-time highs on NVIDIA, which is good. I think they probably have a good strong quarter, and the real question is how strong is that quarter, and will that be the catalyst that could bring us up there? We'll see. But yep, again, I'm gonna be a little patient on NVIDIA before we try to get in. So let's see, we got Roku. Roku is another one. I think if you own Roku, this rally is meaningless to you. Like, what rally? My entire portfolio is Roku and Intel. I don't understand. What are you guys talking about? You got Roku with a little bit of a gap down. So they did come out with earnings. Surprisingly, they did beat. They came in to the higher side of about 42% on earnings per share, so 25-cent beat. And then surprise beat on revenue, up 37.933 million, 4.5%. So not a horrible quarter. I wasn't really paying attention to their conference call. Roku has maintained a buy at benchmark, but they have to have some kind of bearish outlook, maybe. I'm not sure why this one's gapping down. Was there guidance week? Cloud computing. Yeah, Datadog jumped. I saw Snowflake up today too. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe they had bad guidance, but they did beat on everything. So the fact that this does not want to participate today, very, very interesting. I do have really strong resistance somewhere around 63.33. So before I go bullish, I'd want to see that kind of breakout, hold, retest situation. Obviously, major gap up here to fill if it wants to get back to like $89. Um, Everything else seems good on Roku. You also have a good double bottom here, so slightly longer term from October. We're almost we pretty much pegged the October lows, which is fantastic. You also got a little bit more resistance from back here, but just in chop zone. This one could be sneaky. I don't really see anything wrong with the report except for the fact that it's down. Otherwise, um, again, I do kind of want the rest of the market to pull back a little bit, retrace before I jump on the bull train. And maybe that brings Roku back down to this 58.18 zone. You do have a little bit better risk reward going bearish on Roku, hitting those lower targets. Otherwise, we got 61.53 is our immediate resistance on this one. We'll put this one higher. We'll see if this one wants to come down first. But also we did not rally like crazy on good earnings. So my question is there really any bullish sentiment on this one? I don't know. It might need to stay in this chop zone for another 3 months. I don't know. All right, we got XOM, ExxonMobil. Kevin says, "I'll be watching snow if we can pull back some." Yeah, that's the problem. As much as I want that bell to ring, we just jump into 6 trades. A little suspicious. That's a tad. ExxonMobil obviously has been an absolute beast. We're not too far off the all-time highs on this one. You do have a bearish gap and go, so it looks a little bit different than the rest of the market, but still kind of looks a little similar to Roku and Intel. I don't want to really classify ExxonMobil into either of those categories, but the good news for the bulls, you're at a little bit of support. But this is also gapping through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish candles in a row. Might be an interesting location. I mean, we've done nothing but just absolutely crush higher on this one. So they had earnings. They did miss earnings per share. They beat by there's another B. They beat by 3.38 billion. So I don't think they need government assistance anytime soon. Yeah, that's a lot of but I do think this one comes into the benchmark. So it wasn't a horrific quarter. The earnings per share was a little bit of a came in weaker than expected. Wasn't a horrific quarter though. If that support drops, it might be time to get some protection. This would be a lower high as well if we could break through that pivot. Probably I got to get this one higher on the list. I got the 2 scenarios in my head of how I kind of want to play this one. The better one that makes more sense is this actually rallies from here and we end up shorting closer to about 120. But if this thing opens, breaks down 118.43 immediately, this might be a fun one out of the gate. So we will see. There is some upset bulls. Tim says O'Reilly might squeeze some more shorts today. Yeah, they had that. I can't imagine. I think FinViz still says 75% short float. I can't imagine that they're all still there. So that short float's probably a little bit lighter. Again, you do have some people profitable on this one, but that massive short float. Watch for 38.59, and I would also continue to watch this one as well. So especially if this gets a pullback, it might be worth a swing trade because there's a massive short float potential squeeze. Yeah, it is the one with the 75% short float. Again, it was 75% on this red day, the first little gap up. Now you got 2 extra days of going bullish, and I think you probably got some of those shorts out of there. So that it's probably under 75% at this point. We will see. All right, let's see what my peeps in YouTube. Jenny's online today. Good morning, Jenny from Australia. MU got the $6.1 billion grant, correct, but that came in, I think that was official as of yesterday. But they've been talking about that one for a while. And we did have a good day trade on MU yesterday. MU is interesting. So MU, I mean, it still looks good, especially if the entire market wants to move. You are kind of just in between. We've had a really tough time with the 10 EMA. I'm probably not trading MU today, although man, they are setting this thing up again. Dang it. I might have to. It just like the MU whisperer. I don't know why. Like there's so many better stocks with more momentum on it. And I'm like, yeah, let's get into the one to trade sideways all day. But it did work out pretty good yesterday. And what is appealing is that 117 range. So I really like that 117. Otherwise, we do have a little bit of a gap up here, which is fantastic. Would like to see probably a pullback with the rest of the market at open. So maybe we get down to like this 111.92 if you want to play it. But that 117, very, very interesting. Real virtual demand says BTC halving. That already happened too. That was like last weekend. I'm loaded up on INTC, says Crazy Eddie. No. My entire portfolio is INTC. If you got a good enough time horizon, you should be okay. I do own, full disclosure, I do own some. I think my entry was $42, but came all the way from back here somewhere. So I'm down on that one. I'll collect the divvies, they still pay. And my add-on price was $25. It was down here before. I think I wanted actually a little bit lower. I think I wanted like $23. And it got into the zone where I wanted to buy it, but I didn't have the deposit in the account for the long term because I just bought something, whatever else it was. I was like, all right, I'll just wait till next month, and then it popped. So never got the chance to add reduce, but I do have the drip on, so auto move on that one. Auto drip. Wow, what's this happening? That's kind of cool. MU CLSK. What do I got? 19 seconds left. CLSK. So they are going to have earnings coming out soon as well. That would be next Wednesday. Is that next Wednesday? No, not next Wednesday, but 2 Wednesdays from now. They're getting a little bit of a gap up here as well, or a slight gap down. Still inside day, so I don't know if there's much edge yet. Probably looking for more of a pullback. See if we already hit this level, 1831. Otherwise, if we drop a little bit further, probably better spot to try it would be 1717, but we've been on kind of a massive tear, and we do have earnings in 2 weeks. But that sound of the morning bell means I got to disconnect, unfortunately, from you guys on YouTube land. But that's okay. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday. Hit that like and subscribe button.